Eric Johnson Stratocaster. I like it for a variety of reasons. It's got a compound radius on it. It gets to be 12 up here, which is very flat. It's got taller frets on it. So it plays really great. It sounds like a great vintage Strat, but it plays like a modern instrument. Because the only problem with getting a reissue, like 57 or something like that, is that they're going to have the old radius. So it's going to be a rounder neck with smaller frets. So when you do those bends, you have a tendency to bottom out. That's why people with old Strats put bigger frets in them and so on and so forth, although it devalues the guitar, but they become more playable in that way. So this guitar has a compound radius on it. It's flatter down here, or it's not as flat down here. The more you go up the neck, it gets flatter. I think it goes to a 12. You also eliminated, these machine heads are at different heights. So they're calibrated so that the strings go over the nut evenly, and that eliminates the need for one of the string trees. Because the reason why Strats go out of tune when you use a whammy bar is that there's friction somewhere. There's either friction at the string tree, there's friction at the nut, or there's friction at the bridge. So the best thing to do is to make sure that those areas are well lubed with whatever lubricant you like to use, which sounds a little dirty. But just make sure that you're using something so that the string can go back and forth. The other thing I will tell you about Strats, just a real easy thing, which most of you probably already know, but maybe some of you don't. And one of the ways it's very helpful to keep a Strat in tune, the bridge on this one is locked right against the body. I usually like my bridges to float a little bit. That way I can add a little vibrato with the heel right on the bridge. And of course it makes it for the whammy bar. I can go, a step or so sharp as well as be able to dive bomb. And it's all relegated by these springs in the back. It's all based on tension. So when you have it up like this, and you have the guitar set up, it's a very careful kind of black magic of making sure that there's the right amount of tension, right amount of lubrication on the contact points so that the guitar stays in tune. One of the things guitar players do with their Strats and wonder why it doesn't stay in tune is that when they change their strings, they take all the strings off at one time. This is a bad thing because guitar players are very ritualistic, and when it comes time for changing their strings, they make kind of a bizarre ritual out of it. They could get this special towel they put down on the table and their special that they like to use, and they put some incense and some Ravi Shankar on, and they put the guitar there, and then they take this wire cutters and they take all the strings off at one time. So you're literally taking hundreds of pounds of pressure at one time off on the guitar, and the guitar does not like that. Like, just because you want to get rid of the dirt and all the, I like to call it poi, that gets underneath the strings and stuff. I say where there's dirt, there's tone. So leave it there. Then what you want to do is keep the guitar in tune, keep the strings on, take one string off at a time. Keep the guitar in tune, first string off, put the new string on, tune it up with the rest of the guitar, yank on it a few times. It's going to go flat a few times, but it'll stay relatively fast. And then the whole time you're keeping the guitar in tune, going one string after the next, one string at a time. That way, if you change strings that way, I guarantee you could change strings 10 minutes before a gig and it'll stay in tune for you. Take them all the way off and do it one at a time. It's a nightmare. Trying to get the one string in tune while you're tuning up the other one, it's like shoveling in a snowstorm. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a pointless exercise. So there you have it. So that's your Strat tip for the week, ladies and gentlemen.